For the class advocacy and exploration project, I decided to raise the minimum wage in healthcare for our early childhood educators. A quick overview is I propose to raise the minimum wage and introduce a comprehensive healthcare package for early childhood educators. The wage increase should reflect the vital contributions for early childhood professionals, aligning it with an industry standard in similar occupations. The proposed wage must enable early childhood educators to maintain a decent standard of living, especially considering the unique challenges they face. Furthermore, the health care package should offer extensive medical, dental, and vision coverage to ensure the well-being of these educators. We should also implement incentives to manage costs with reasonable premiums, deductibles, and out-of-pocket expenses. Why I decided to do my project on this. I chose this topic because I observed a significant level of turnover among early childhood workers at the schools my sons attend. This reoccurring pattern raised several questions, especially regarding its impact on the children's learning environments and overall development. I wanted to diverge deeper into the reasons behind this turnover, the challenges these workers face, and how these changes affect the consistency of care and education provided to the children. Understanding these dynamics is crucial as the stability of early childhood educators can greatly influence the quality of early learning experience. The history of underpaying early childhood educators. Early childhood educators plays a vital role in child development, yet the workforce supporting this sector has long faced significant challenges, particularly regarding compensation. Several social, economic, and policy-related factors have contributed to the persistently low wages of early childhood workers, highlighting a systematic undervaluation of their essential contributions. One major factor influencing these low salaries is the widespread perception of early childhood educators as a low-skill employment. This viewpoint undermines the complexity and importance of the work involved. Despite the extensive education and training required for effective teaching in the field, social attitudes often fail to recognize the expertise of early childhood educators, leading to insufficient financial rewards. Moreover, the predominance of female workers in early childhood education significantly perpetuates wage disparity. Jobs primarily held by women have traditionally been undervalued, influenced by entrenched gender bias. This affects pay structure and funding allocations. The funding model for early childhood education further exacerbates the issue, as it starkly contrasts with that of K-12 education, which receives substantial public financing. Instead, ECE largely relies on private funding, resulting in limited budget allocation that restricts organizations' ability to offer competitive salaries to educators. The low compensation of early childhood professions is deeply rooted in societal attitudes that undervalue caregiving, particularly roles associated with women. ECE is often perceived as extensive family responsibility rather than a professional realm deserving of competitive wages. During the 1970s and 80s, with more women entering the workforce, the demand of child care services grew. However, the quality of care and compensation for caregivers continued to lag behind. Advocates have long called for improvements in pay and training within the industry, which has struggled with poor working conditions and low wages. Despite growing recognition of significance of early education policies, fundings have yet to align with this pressing need for fair compensation. As a result, many child care workers' early wages that place them at the near poverty levels with limited benefits and job security, creating a cycle of underpayment with those poses challenges in attracting new professionals to the field. Pushing for policy change in early education. Advocating for a minimum wage and better health care for early childhood educators is an important issue that requires a well-rounded approach. This means running awareness campaign, doing some lobbying, and pushing for legislation changes to help the public and lawmakers understand why these educators deserve fair pay and health benefits. They play a huge role in shaping the lives of our young kids, after all. The main goal of our campaign is to get the community talking about how vital early childhood educators are. To make this happen, we're using social media to share engaging content like posts, videos, infographics, and personal stories that highlight the real struggles these educators face. We'll also have face-to-face interactions like speaking at school board meetings and handing out brochures and flyers to spread the word even further. A key part of our message will be letting families know how much early childhood educators influence their children's development, while also discussing the fact that many of them earn low wages. Studies show that high quality early childhood education helps kids get ready for academic success, so it's crucial to attract and keep qualified professionals in this field. Unfortunately, many early childhood educators are paid or at near minimum wage and deal with tough working conditions. By raising community awareness, we hope to gather support for the important legislative changes that addresses these challenges. Once we've highlighted the value of early childhood educators and the difficulties they face, it's important to engage the elected officials, setting up meetings with policymakers that help us share research findings and show that the need for specific legislation changes. A great example to look at is New Zealand, where they successfully implemented a minimum wage and additional benefits, making it the leader in early childhood education. And this is a sample of a flyer I would be handing out for at schools or to families. And it just reads, every day early childhood educators dedicate their hearts and souls to nurturing and shaping the lives of our youngest children. They create safe and loving environments where the little ones can learn and grow, yet despite their unwavering commitment, many are struggling to make ends meet, often working multiple jobs just to pay the bills. And it's just to get support around schools. Call to action, support early childhood workers with a living wage. Our early childhood educators play a vital role in shaping the lives of our youngest citizens, yet many of them struggle to make ends meet on minimum wage. It's time to take a stand and advocate for fair compensation for these dedicated professionals. Share this message with your friends and family to highlight the importance of paying early childhood workers a living wage. Reach out to your elected officials and urge them to support legislation that increases funding for early childhood education and raise wages for teachers and caregivers. Let's stand together to ensure that those who nurture and educate our future generations receive the respect and compensation they deserve. Every child deserves a great start, and that begins with valuing those who care for them. And then I put the audience would be obviously everyone, but I really would be targeting local and state legislators, parents and their families, media outlets, and even labor unions.